Hey, it's your girl LMJ from Coffee and Conversations coming to you with this week's Sunday inspiration. Last week we talked about you can't pour from an empty cup. And this week I wanted to talk to you about you can't pour from an empty cup. The partnership. It's so important. We were talking about being depleted last week, running out of resources, not having enough energy, not having proper self-care. Well, can I tell you something? All of those things are so important, but there's one more component to this, the partnership. Finding the right people who tie into your vision, who tie into your mission, who are supposed to be a part of your life is so important to this thing. About 14 years ago, my late husband and I started our nonprofit organization, and it was just us. And sometimes we found ourselves running out of resources, running out of time, not having enough of everything, but we would pull on each other. And what happened is I would compliment where he had weaknesses and he would compliment where I had weaknesses. Well, when he could no longer run the organization and I picked up running the organization, I ran into this wonderful man. His name is A.D. Washington. As a matter of fact, he died recently, and he just began to mentor me as a CEO. And one of the things he said to me was, Lakeisha, I want to talk to you about something. You better get you some partners in this. You better build you a team, because what you're doing right now is very destructive. The fact that you're trying to run this by yourself, what's going to happen, baby girl, is you're going to run out. And I'm talking about, I had some butts. I'm like, AD, I don't know who to trust. I've been burned before. I don't know who's going to want to buy into this nonprofit organization. Is completely volunteered. And he shut me down immediately. He said, Lakeisha, if the vision is clear, right? Write the vision, make it plain, right? So that they that get it can run with it. He said, if that vision is clear, your heart is in the right place, your motives are pure, and people see that, I'm telling you, the right people will attach. But you got to put yourself in the position to ask, and you got to be open to receive, and you got to abandon those past trust issues. Everybody is not the same. And you know what? He was absolutely right. And so I began to build a team. And as I began to build a team, I began to see this from a different perspective. And I wasn't as worn out. And I had people coming to me with fresh ideas, because even though the vision had been given to me, there were other people that were connected to it, connect the dots. There were other people that connected to it that could help it run more successfully. And even when I was experiencing burnout, there were other people who could come in and give fresh ideas, and they did so willingly because they saw the bigger picture. And so I began to understand how important partnership is, so that your cup doesn't get empty. You know, I like to give demonstrations. So here are cups that represent ministry, business, whatever you have going on in life, your family, even your family has to be done in partnership. And when each cup is pouring into it, right, then your cup doesn't get empty. Why? Because everybody is giving resources to it. Everybody is pouring into it. We're balancing each other out. But can I tell you something? Don't worry about, because sometimes it'll seem like somebody else's cup is bigger than someone else's. Don't worry about that. Right partners don't care if their cup looks bigger than yours. Right partners don't care if the resources look a little bit larger on one side. The right partner for you sees the vision and knows that no matter what size of cup, each person is essential and important to the vision manifesting or happening. And this applies. I have a nonprofit organization. I have a ministry. I have a consulting business. This applies to each and everything that I'm involved in. And I've learned that successful partnerships are really what make me successful. It's not about my name. It's about those that get with me and help me run this thing, because I want it to be sustainable, especially if you have a nonprofit organization. When you're writing grants, one of the things they ask is, how are you sustainable? What community partnerships do you have? Who else is involved with this? So you've got to get the right collaborations. You've got to get the right partnerships, because what else also happens is each partner has a reserve, another pool of people who are attached to them. It doesn't mean that they're necessarily attached to you. They're attached to your partner, and those reserves will begin to pour back into them. And then again, you guys begin to pour into those cups that you're tied to. and nobody gets empty. So my thing for you today is, my challenge for you today is find your partnerships. If you're finding that you're running a little low, you don't have the energy for what you're doing, you're probably not operating as a team. You're not operating in partnership. And I'm telling you, 2 or more in agreement change everything. 2 is definitely better than 1, because when one person gets tired, then the other person can pick up and run with it and keep the vision going. Well, that's it for today. We don't want any cups. Get you the right partners so that you can be successful in whatever it is you aspire and are called to do. Well, see you next week. Next week, I'm going to talk to you about being a big fish in a little bitty pond. Share this video with someone else. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Coffee and Conversations with Lakeisha. Join us for our daily devotional, Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. on Facebook Live, and Saturdays with our special guest at 8 a.m. See you next week. Peace.